time to talk about Her Loss, the newest album from Drake and 21 Savage. They've collaborated together quite a few times now. We've heard a lot more from Drake recently than 21.
Yep.
Honestly, Nevermind dropping earlier this year.
Yeah. Less than
Okay.
6 months ago, 5
An
months ago.
album an album I try not to think about much because a really unsuccessful foray into rock music, I guess, for Drake, right? I mean,
Electronic music. I wouldn't say
electronic,
rock
yeah,
music.
right.
Yeah.
Electronic.
House,
Um,
Jersey Club specifically.
yes, thank you. Um, and so Drake is back rapidy rapid on this. And
Damn right.
it's nice to have him back. Not gonna lie, I'd prefer this Drake 100 times out of 100 to honestly never mind. But this album's getting a lot of attention, Dave, for some not so good reasons. So we got to get into
That's
that
true.
too.
We'll get into that. Yep.
Why don't we start though first with is the music there on Her Loss?
I say definitely. I think the music is definitely here, and it is. Drake has not sound this refreshed, this lively, this just straight up fun in several records. Like I like this way more than Certified Lover Boy, like
Oh yeah,
easily. You know, Dark Lane demo tapes, obviously, and I think you got to go all the way back to like More Life.
wow.
I think we're going that far back. Do we have the highs of Scorpion on this? No, no God's Plan, no Nice for What, no In My Feelings. That being said, I think that Her Loss is a better record than Scorpion overall,
Mhm.
and it's not that it's without fault, without bloat. It's still an hour long, but I mean, it's the best Drake sounded in quite some time, and man, like it really like I think I'm even more hyped about it because the fact that we got Honestly Nevermind 5 months ago. Drake, to his credit, taking a swing and doing something completely different. An artist who's played it safe for so long. The fact that he tried something like that, we said this at the time, is still commendable given his station. But I think vocally, songwriting wise, he just wasn't really up to snuff to match that. And of course, then when you get the Beyonce record doing that in a genuine and convincing manner, it was over for that record. However, as everyone knows, the biggest hit of Honestly Nevermind, the last track, was Jimmy Cook's, which was not a house song at all. That was a trap song featuring 21 Savage, someone Drake has made many great songs with already at this point. And the fact that they're like, you know what? Let's just make an album together and release it this year. How nice. How great. Um, and yeah, I think there's a lot of bangers, a lot of fun stuff on this. But I think Drake, he just feels and sounds so much more refreshed. His writing is, for the most part, much stronger and more interesting on Her Loss, even if this might be like a quote simpler record. But I'd rather listen to this than Drake at his moodiest, like on Views or something, Like this is, I think, like the ideal of what you'd want from Drake in his mid 30s.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is uh definitely a bit of a return to form for Drake. I think there's a few songs on here that are just absolutely fantastic and, make me excited to hear him again. And I feel like having 21 it seems to really have inspired him and they play off each other so
Yeah,
well.
amazing chemistry. It's just as simple as that.
And it just feels like 21 is like is there anything this guy can't do for rap right now? Like he's got to be one of the s- most surprising biggest stars because you think about like the first couple times he really like broke out some of those
Yeah,
like
Savage
earlier
Mode
hits.
1 back in the day.
You're kind of like, all right, like this guy's like pretty cool, a bit one note, like
Yeah,
he'll be around and like kind of be like Pusha T, like drop in, like really just like do his thing really well.
Slaughter Gang shit, Murder Gang shit.
On this, I was really impressed with like his ability to like switch things up a bit. Like some of the sound we get from him are things we've really never heard him doing in terms of like tone on the song, even like cadence in terms of some of his rapping. It was like, okay, 21 also like busting out, but just his ability to even like invigorate some of these stars and really like bring out the best.
Yeah.
I loved the line that was like, um, I forgot exactly which song it was on, but it was something like, uh, I feature on your song "Make It My Own" or something like that, and
hmm
then Drake comes in and is like, "I have you feature on a song, make the record think they need you," and I was like, "Ooh, okay." Like I like the back and forth, and like I
Yeah.
appreciate the
There's
flexes
some
from
great
both of
moments
them.
like that.
Yeah, they have a great back and forth.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it, I think this is a pretty easy take at this point, but like Drake and 21 Savage through their many high profile collabs, Mr. Right Now, Knife Talk, Jimmy Cooks, Sneakin', unreleased song Issa, and now this record, they have more chemistry and make more sense together than Drake and Future ever did. And Drake and Future, of course, made a whole album together. What a time to be alive. But this is just so much more successful because they really just fit each other so well. It's still a Drake first record, like
Oh yeah.
21 doesn't have equal time or anything. He's much clearly in support of Drizzy on this. But I think it's all right because it's not that 21 like needs this look, like you said, he's doing things we haven't heard before, but 21 has also come so far with those last few records, I'm Greater Than I Was, and Savage Mode
Mhm.
2, of course. Like he has gotten to like as close as he probably can to rap stardom, and through these
Mhm.
unceremonious beginnings in Atlanta rap. And now at this point, the fact that he can just like play like second fiddle to Drake, but do it better than like almost anyone ever has. Like I think it's honestly another like feather in 21's cap. Like he's already been a great feature artist for so long now. People have talked about how far he's come. We've all known that. But the fact that he can like really like match Drake and get Drake to really buy in as much as he did as well, which we know hasn't always been, a sure thing with Drake these days, right? Drake has been prone to play it safe and just chill out because he's Drake and he'll be successful no matter what. But on this, I think they really brought the most out of each other, and that's what makes it so fun. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
completely agree. And just to kind of highlight that, to clean up the line I was talking about before is on BS, which I think is maybe one of my favorite like songs where they go back and forth
good
trading
one. Yep.
bars, and interplaying together, right? 21 says, "I jump on your song and make you sound like you, the feature," and then Drake just jumps in so seamlessly with, "I jump on your song, make a label think they need you," and it's just like
Mm,
it's so beautifully delivered. Like they really like glide around each other so well, and it's
yeah.
like it's just them both flexing and just feeling so confident and like light. Like that song, they really just seem so happy. And those first three songs, Rich Flex, Major Distribution on BS, like absolute
Mm,
heaters to open. Rich Flex, probably my favorite
yeah.
song on the album, I'd say.
21, can you do some for me?
So good. So good, man. I
But
mean,
then
like,
that song, like already super catchy from Drake in the beginning, right? Then that song has a huge beat flip, and
mhm,
and like it picks back up, and Drake is like super energized and like really like in his rapping bag with all these like acronym rhymes, and like I was like sitting there like listening, I was like, holy shit, you haven't got Drake
mhm.
like this about it in quite some time, and that was track one. I was like, oh my god, this is so refreshing. I love it. And then, yeah, right off the bat, after that, track two, major distribution, which I love. I think the first line, major distribution labels on my dick for real, hilarious to hear. But later on, kind of what you had been getting at before with the chemistry between 21 and Drake starts it off in his verse. Major distribution labels call me Bad Bunny, this a robbery. 500 million just for Aubrey. Later on, 21, Harry Styles numbers, it's a robbery. My dudes go insane to catch a body. I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
That's amazing wordplay.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, I think probably the single like most celebrated line would be on Treacherous Twins, where 21, of course, gets you hard with I don't show ID at the club because they know that I'm 21.
Mhm.
Which honestly, I was levitating when I heard that. Like, and I think so. I saw some people pushing back on that. It's like, oh, that's a simple line, just some simple double meaning. What's the big deal? It's like, no, you don't get it. Like 21 Savage has been at it for 7 years now. He's been at a long career. The fact that it took us this long to hear that line from him makes
Mhm.
it that much more better. It's like when Pusha T blows your mind with a new way to talk about selling coke. Like it just hit so hard, I think, because of like how simple and how long it had been to hear something like that from him. Like honestly, like, that's like my favorite bar of the year, I think.
Well, and he could, like you said, he could have said that when he first came up. Like he probably had that written for a long time, but to do it now when he actually is established, I mean, he's on an album with fucking Drake, like the best-selling rapper of all
Yep.
time. At this point, it's like, yeah, this is a time when you can drop a line like that, and it means a lot more than it would have when he was actually like just turned 21. Treacherous Twins, by the way, another like
That's
awesome
my
track.
that's my number one, I think.
That's
I
your
love
number
that
one.
one. Yeah.
um,
Because like, that's melodic Drake. Like Drake doesn't just rap his ass off. He also gets into the other side of his what makes him great, which is his versatility. And that's a song where Drake is much more melodic, I think, in a really fun way. My treacherous little twin. You know that we going in. Like, and then of
mhm,
course 21 jumps in, and he's like, it's just such a different vibe, but it works so well together. I think some of the slower moments on this record, like Hours in Silence, that one's a little too slow. Don't really like that one, but
yeah,
like the fact that I think he was able to really nail both melodic Drake and like trapping Drake too on this with 21 in both camps, like I think, man, I'm just so pleased with just how much there is on like offer from Drake on this one. Like I don't have to go in and like convince myself that like one of those you know, Drake sitting there musing about how terrible his life is songs is kind of good and thoughtful. It's like, no, I don't have to worry about that this time. But if I did, you still got Middle of the Ocean, which is pretty good too.
I was about to say, I really liked Middle of the Ocean. First of all, feels like an Action Bronson song that Drake just is like, okay, I'm gonna make an Action
Uh,
Bronson song. Really hits. We get a fucking Robert Kraft line in this. Like he got me private jet. That's patriotic. Okay. All right. Sure. I'll take
he-
it. It's a little corny, but I'll take it.
it's like it's
And
part of Drake's brand is to be corny at times too.
exactly. And honestly, I thought he sounded like kind of like old school Drake on that, which I appreciated.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I mean, there's a couple of duds for me. You mentioned Hours in Silence, like just get that off this album. Circo Loco, which I mean we should talk about for the Meg line, but overall, like taking one more time, slowing it down like that just kind of takes
Yeah.
the fun out of it for me. Like it just didn't need it. And I thought Drake's singing on that was just like horrid, like just
Yeah.
terrible.
I think like I actually don't mind the sample. Obviously, it's a big swing to sample Daft Punk period, but especially in this high profile of a manner. And it's like, huh, this is like a interesting idea. I think if the rest of the song was a bit more interesting, maybe could have worked. Obviously, like you're never touching Kanye when it comes to sampling Daft Punk. We know this, but like I think there was actually like something to like a stripped down, chopped and screwed Daft Punk sample, but this doesn't really come together, and that's before you factor in the Meg line. Um,
Yeah, what were your thoughts on the Meg line while we're here?
yeah. So what's he say? He says, uh, girls or hoes lying about their shots, something like a stallion or whatever. You had little Yachty coming out of the woodwork carrying some water, saying that Drake was just talking about girls that lie about the fact that they have ass shots in their butt. And of course, stallion is more of a general term for like bigger, tall women. And it's like, you know what? That all sounds true and correct. But the fact that there is double meaning with this because of everything that's happened with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez is why someone as good of a writer as Drake should not have one of these lines. Because even if that was not your intention at all, surely you're not that stupid to think that people can't read between the lines on the line.
Mhm.
It's just uh, we talked about this when Meg's Traumazine came out. Like, we need to let this go and let one of the most exciting new talents in rap just continue her career. And
Mhm.
we don't need throwaway bars from Drake, of all people, to be making fun of that situation in any way. It's just really in poor taste.
Well, and just to like hammer home what you're saying more, the line is actually this bitch lie about getting shots, but she a stallion.
Yeah.
So it's implying that like Meg was playing this up, potentially lying about it in some way. She got fucking shot. Like I just like I don't even know.
Drake also used to hate Tory Lanez because
Like
Tory Lanez is from Canada and used to be Diet Drake and still basically is. Like, come on, man.
just feels like a misstep for whatever reason. I don't know. And then the next song you get Travis Scott, which was almost like a little jarring to see him. I feel like we
Yeah.
haven't really gotten
I
much
don't
of
mind
him.
that quite as much. Like, he will be back, you
Yeah.
know?
What'd you think of that song?
It's all right. I actually thought Travis like kind of fits this production fine,
Yeah.
but it's not my favorite like Drake or 21 on the album is all. Um,
Anything on
yeah.
the back half that you really liked?
Yeah, I thought Jumbotron shit poppin', which is Drake only. I like that one from Drake.
Jumbo shit poppin'. I like that one more.
And then second to last song, you got 3 a.m. on Glenwood. Another entry in the AM PM series from Drake, which is storied, of course, except it's not Drake now. It's 21 only. And 21 doing one of the classic Drake storytelling songs. What a nice gesture from Drake to give a song, one of the AM PM songs to 21. I thought that like really warmed my heart. And like Drake isn't just like, this has been clear for a while with 21, but like Drake isn't just like riding the new young guy who's got a new spin on hip hop that Drake can take some stuff and propel himself forward. We've known Drake's done that before. He's not doing this with 21, but like that's like a really genuine thing I think to do on a Drake record, is to give an AMPM song to your collaborator.
Yeah, no, I thought that was nice too, and I thought 21 did all right with that. Wasn't a song that I was like, oh, gonna be going back to this one the most off of it, but definitely decent. I think overall, just like very happy to see this album turn out the way it did. Especially with what we've gotten from Drake recently, felt like this could have gone a lot worse. So good to see him back in form.
Yeah. Oh, he also Drake did like make a reference to Dram and Cha
That's
Cha being ripped off with Hotline Bling, and Dram posted a video about it, being like, "Bro, this was like so long ago," which is kind of my take on this too. Like, why are you punching down on Dram? Like, come on, guy, you already stole the song. You got away with it. Let's
yeah,
move on here. That was like 5 albums ago.
yeah. I don't know.